Fantasy sports for many, many years was a small activity until the internet came around, and really over the last decade and a half or so it's exploded because the internet's made it so much easier for people to play, and now with mobile it's even easier. I think one of the most important trends happening right now in sports overall is just the way media consumption habits are changing. More and more people are cutting the cord, more and more people are using OTT, streaming services. That all has also changed the way that data can be tracked, the way that consumption can be facilitated. And fantasy sports is both important for engaging fans and making them have demand for those sorts of products. Fantasy sports in North America have just under 60 million people playing today, and there's a variety of different types of games. A lot of them are supported by ad revenue. Then there's also the commission that gets made on the paid games, and overall the industry is north of $1 billion, I believe. So there is a very direct and undeniable correlation between fantasy sports gameplay and demand for media content and sports media content specifically. Anybody who subscribes to something like Red Zone Channel or other sorts of streaming packages, odds are that they're playing fantasy sports of some kind, and we've seen stats where a very high percentage of those people say they would cancel their subscription if it weren't for fantasy sports. For games that are between teams that don't really have much of a shot at making the playoffs and maybe the game is a blowout, normally fans would have no reason to continue tuning in, but if you're playing fantasy sports, every single play of that game matters. It doesn't matter what the score in the actual game is, you're still accumulating stats, and you might be in a tight matchup with one of your friends that you're playing fantasy sports against. So it really keeps people not only watching the games at the beginning, but tuning in throughout the entire game regardless of what happens on the field.